Hey guys, I'm Erin and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am happy to have you. I talk all things money and personal finance. You might have found me from TikTok and Instagram, so hey, I'm happy to have you here on YouTube as well. Today's topic is something that I talk about a lot and something that I get a lot of questions about for good reason. I travel a lot for someone in their 20s, especially for someone that lives on a budget. I'm not just going out and like blowing all of my money on all of these trips. I fit them into my budget and a lot of you guys are curious how I do that. And you guessed it, a lot of that has to do with credit card points. In this video, we'll be breaking down how I use credit card points for travel, the cards that are currently sitting in my wallet, and best practices for doing so. So let's get started. If you are totally new to the world of credit card points, then here is how it works. Just like any other financial product, credit card companies need to incentivize their customers to use their card over a different company's card. If you're currently using a credit card and it provides you with no material benefits, then you're missing out on a ton of offers and rewards, not just in the travel space. For example, one of the most underrated credit card rewards is cash back, and even this is a super underrated perk. For example, something like the Citi Double Cash card, this gives you 2% cash back literally every time you swipe your credit card. But there are also credit cards that take this even one step further and give you rewards that can be used for travel related purchases. This can be one of two things. So one side of this is a credit card that is tied to one particular airline or one particular hotel chain. For example, an airline like American Airlines has their own credit cards. So every time you fly with them or anytime you spend on their credit card, you earn miles that can be redeemed for American flights. And then on the other side of this is an unbranded credit card that gives you more flexible travel rewards points. These aren't tied to one particular airline or hotel, so your redemption options on these cards are going to be a lot more flexible. And these credit cards are typically offered from some of the big banks, think like Chase, Amex, Citi, Capital One. Like I said, I'm only 24, and so far in my 20s, I've opened up almost 10 credit cards, which sounds insane for someone who isn't in this world at all, but I've never paid even $1 of credit card interest, and my credit score is almost an 800. So I like to preface that first and foremost. I started learning about credit card points around the age of 20 when I was really in like the depths of learning about personal finance. A lot of people in the personal finance space do use credit card points to still be able to travel and fit that into their budget. So I was listening to a lot of personal finance podcasts at the time, and credit card points were coming up a lot. First, there are a lot of myths in the credit card point space that I think need to be addressed. The first is that you need to open up a ton of different credit cards to be able to take advantage of credit card points. This was definitely something that I heard of when I first learned about credit card points. I saw people who were opening like 10, 20 cards all at a time. And I thought that if I just opened up one, that I wouldn't really be able to like gain anything significant. After doing this for about 4 years, I can say that that's completely false. The only reason that I've opened up, let's say like 9 or 10 cards over the past 4 years is honestly because my card opening strategy wasn't that great, and then I wouldn't have had to open up as many cards to get the same result. You absolutely can just open up 1 or 2 cards to play the points and miles game. You can open up these cards, hold them for a really long time, earn points on them. Points just obviously won't accrue as quickly as someone who's opening a couple cards a year. Second is that you need to be spending like $1 million on these cards in order for the points to be worth it. That's definitely not true either. I have very reasonable expenses and still rack up enough points to be able to take trips, especially for cards with welcome bonuses, which we can talk about a little bit later. And third is the myth that this is going to wreck your credit score. Now, credit cards in general can absolutely wreck your credit score if you're not using them responsibly. So responsible credit card usage is super important if you want to start getting into credit card points. However, a lot of people think that opening new cards every single year alone is going to wreck your credit score. That itself is a myth. Yes, every time you open a credit card, that is a credit inquiry. And yes, credit inquiries do negatively impact your credit score. But for me personally, I've found that every time I've opened up a new credit card, it never really dings my score more than a couple of points. And that always bounces back for me within a few months because of the positive impact to my credit utilization ratio. Now, if you do want to start using credit card points to help you subsidize the cost of travel and help you fit travel into your budget, there are 3 main things that you need to consider to help you decide which card is best for you. Because again, there are a ton of different card options in this space. I do have a tool that I'm going to link in the description that helps you to compare all of the different cards that we're talking about today. And I will earn a commission for any card applied for through that link. So thank you guys for supporting me and my channel. But anyway, when you're trying to pick out a card to get started with, you need to think about these 3 things. First is what the card's annual fee is. Second is how you earn points on these cards. And third is how you redeem points. So first, obviously, if the card does have an annual fee, you need to make sure that that annual fee is going to be worth it for the value that you're getting out of the card. And then you need to make sure that the redemption options for that card are right for you, because it doesn't really mean much to earn points on a card if you don't have useful ways to redeem them. Let's use a super popular points earning card as an example for all three. The Chase Sapphire Preferred card is one of the most popular cards in this space and one of my favorite travel cards. I'm going to make an entire separate video just on this card, why I love it so much, how to get the best value out of this card, all of that. To break this card down, the annual fee on the Chase Sapphire Preferred is $95. So as soon as you open up this card, a $95 charge will be applied to your first statement balance. Now on the earning side for this card, the Chase Sapphire Preferred is currently offering, at the time of posting this video, a 60,000 point welcome bonus after you spend $4,000 on this card in the first 3 months of having this card open. And the points earning structure for this card is listed here. As you can see, you can earn like 3x points on dining, 3x points on online grocery orders. So the earnings rates on this card are pretty good, and they can be made even better when you pair this card with other Chase cards, which I can show you how to do in the other video. Now on the redemption side, this is where I think that Chase truly shines over some of the other brands. If you have the Chase Sapphire Preferred or the Chase Sapphire Reserve, which is the more premium option of this card, you're earning what's called Chase Ultimate Rewards points. And there are two main ways to redeem your Chase Ultimate Rewards points. First is through the Ultimate Rewards portal. So if you're booking in this portal, every one of your points is worth 25% more. So for example, those 60,000 welcome bonus points that you got when you signed up for your card and hit the minimum spend, that would be worth $750 worth of travel when you book travel through the Ultimate Rewards portal. That's already a really big benefit over some of the other cards that redeem their points one-to-one through their portals. And you can book almost anything through the Ultimate Rewards portal, no matter what the airline or hotel brand is. However, my favorite way to redeem my Chase Ultimate Rewards points is actually to transfer my points to their different transfer partners. As you can see here in the Chase Ultimate Rewards portal, you can click transfer to transfer partners. And now you can see an entire list of airlines and hotels that Chase partners with that you can transfer your points to, usually one-to-one. As you can see here, they have partners like United, Hyatt, Southwest, and the benefit to doing this is that you can usually get much higher redemption rates when you transfer and book directly, as opposed to booking through the Chase Ultimate Rewards portal. Hyatt is my absolute favorite Chase transfer partner. I transfer almost all of my Chase points over to Hyatt to book hotel stays for my friends and I usually get really good redemption rates. Now I have loyalty status with Hyatt as well, which gives me a ton of perks when I'm traveling and staying at Hyatt hotels. I hope this little overview of how I use credit card points to fit travel into my budget in my 20s was helpful for you all. Again, I can make other videos on credit cards that I do have in my wallet and a breakdown of the Chase Sapphire Preferred card in more depth, but I will be putting all of my favorite credit card points resources in the caption. Make sure to like and subscribe, and thank you for following along.